12 weeks.
12 weeks, and when they come out, you provide them jobs, or you try to put them in the restaurant business? Or
We help them find jobs.
You help them find jobs. That's remarkable. Everyone deserves a chance. 2 or 3. That's what I believe. Someplace in a restaurant, same idea. You guys are. I'm bowing. You guys do a great job. What about you? Who are you?
My name is Shannon Howell. I was a former student and now I'm an apprentice working through the Goodwill program.
So you're an apprentice? And how is it going?
I love it. It's amazing. He's been a great mentor to me.
Everyone deserves a break and everybody needs to have a mentor. I'm glad Jeff is your mentor. That's awesome. Are you nervous being here?
Yes, of course.
Don't worry, this is only national TV. Don't worry about it. No big deal. We're used to this. We do this every day. All right, so what are you guys going to make today, Jeff?
So today what we're going to make is we're going to prepare stuffed pork loin, and we're going to have an opportunity to show you how to butcher the loin, make the stuffing, and then we're going to make a little bit of risotto to go on the side, and it'll be a nice little plate.
So you guys know you got 40 minutes? You guys ready for this?
They can cook fast.
Awesome. Hey, wait, are you serving anything with the pork loin?
Some risotto.
Oh, okay. Risotto. Excellent.
Yeah.
How many of you have made risotto at home before? How many of you mess it up? Yeah. It's easy to mess up a risotto, so these people are going to show you how not to mess it up. Hopefully, right?
That's right.
Okay, good. All right, where do we start?
We're going to start right now.
Right now. And what do we do to start?
So the first thing we're going to do is, I believe Madison's going to start the stuffing. So today we're going to prepare a sort of a Mediterranean-inspired stuffed pork loin. Our stuffing is a bread stuffing with some slow roasted tomatoes, pine nuts, and some fresh herbs from our garden.
Excellent. So you're coring the tomatoes. You're going to dice those tomatoes. What are you going to do with them?
So we're going to wedge the tomatoes, and then they're going to go with a little bit of olive oil, salt and pepper into the oven. We have some already done because they're going to cook at about 175 degrees for 3 hours.
Oh, beauticious. Yeah. And now with the magic of television, the tomatoes are ready. This is great. This is what you see on TV. They go like this. They put it in the oven. It's a 5-pound roast, and then they go, and voila! And you're like, whoa, that was quick.
So while Madison is getting the tomatoes ready, Shannon, our apprentice, is going to get ready to start the risotto. And so what she's going to do is saute some onions, and then lightly saute some arborio rice. So arborio rice is the rice you use for risotto. It's a short grain or a medium grain rice. And the whole thing about risotto is the method, right? It's the method you use for risotto that makes it different than just a bowl of rice.
Let me stop you, Jeff. You said she's going to saute some onion, but the first thing I saw her put is oil, and the second thing is butter. I love you already. Keep going. I like that. I like a recipe that starts with olive oil and butter together. So you're cutting the tomato, and then you're going to put them in oil, olive oil.
Toss them in olive oil right here. Rosemary and salt.
Okay. And then you're going to cook that slowly?
Yes.
And how long did you say, Jeff?
3 hours.
3 hours. That's very slowly cooking. That's good. Either that or put it on the front lawn on a sunny day and wait till it's cooked. That takes a few more hours. And then for the pork roast, what kind of part of the roast do you use? I mean, what kind of the part of the pig do you use?
So we're using a pork loin.
Okay, pork loin.
We're going to use a full pork loin, which a pork loin is the same cut that, if we got one that had the bones on it, would be where you would cut pork chops.
Pork chop, yeah. You guys knew that? Pork loin and pork chop is the same thing. One's got a bone on it. Right? All right, what are you doing on that sheet pan now? Putting the tomatoes. Got it. And then you put those in the sunny oven? Yes. What temperature?
So a convection oven would be about 175. Convectional,
200, 225.
Yeah, 200. Very slow.
Yeah, slow oven.
So you put that in the oven before you go to bed, and next day, when you wake up in the morning, it's ready? Nice. So by doing that, you're actually intensifying the flavor because you're reducing.
We're reducing a lot of the water out of the
Right.
tomatoes. And then once they are cooked,
with the magic of television, half a day went by.
yeah,
Beautiful product. Nice. It almost looks like a wet sun-dried tomato. That looks beautiful. Nice. So meanwhile, back in the onion section,
the onions are sautéing, and Shannon's about to put in the arborio rice.
so you sweat the onion and then you add the rice. Got it?
Correct.
And you put the rice in the fat and make sure that there is a nice covering all around.
Mhm.
Is it called blooming the rice by any chance? Blooming the rice? I don't know. Just thinking of that, you could almost call it blooming the rice. Never heard that before. But...
So
and then
what-
you use chicken stock.
We use a little bit of chicken stock, which we made in the restaurant,
Okay.
and this is the reason that risotto is such a great dish, especially if you have someone else to make it for you.
Right.
Because what Shannon's going to do is a little bit of white wine. Once that's incorporated, she's going to start adding chicken stock, and she's going to add the chicken stock slowly, quarter cup at a time, while stirring
Until the rice is cooked.
until the chicken stock. Yes, until the chicken stock is absorbed, and you add a little bit more. You keep stirring, and you keep doing that. We'll check in with her a little bit later.
We'll see you in 20 minutes.
Exactly.
Okay, what about you? What are you going to do now? Stuffing for the pork. How do you start?
So you're gonna start with 6 cups of breadcrumbs. And then onion rice, which have already been sauteed in a little bit of olive oil.
Now, this is for an entire pork loin, right? Which actually,
Correct.
which actually
We'll
feed,
show the entire pork
which
loin.
actually would feed like 15 people, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
15, 20 portions. It's about a 7-pound pork loin.
Love pineapples.
Then we have our oven roasted tomatoes. And we're gonna save some of the oil to coat the pork loin.
That looks so beautiful already. Chicken stock?
Enough to moisten the breadcrumbs.
So it becomes like a paste to put inside the pork, yeah?
Correct.
Fresh herbs, what do you got? Basil, thyme, tarragon? Yeah.
All
Nice.
from and
All from
Maddie's
your
garden.
garden? That's awesome.
Stirring. Okay, good.
So you keep stirring, you wait for the rice to get a little bit drier, and then you add more chicken stock, right? How many times do you repeat that? How much stock do you have to go through? A quart.
This is for I'm using a half a pound of.
So in a
arborio
previous demo, I talked about preparation, mise en place. This is part of why you need to have your stock boiling right in front of you when you're doing the rice, so you're not going through a cold stock from your fridge into the rice, because that would cool down the whole recipe and then your rice would become gummy. So make sure your stock is at temperature. All right, your stuffing is ready.
Stuffing is ready. Excellent. The stuffing's ready. We're going to move on to the pork loin, get that ready to go into the oven. So what Madison has here is a full loin, a boneless pork loin.
That is definitely 20 people.
Yes.
Wow. Or 10 hungry ones.
And what she's going to do,
You can just give it.
is carve this pork loin, slice down, and then open it up, roll it out, and continue slicing until she turns this tube into a flat sheet.
So you're trying to make it very skinny, whole sheet, so you can put stuffing and then roll
Correct,
it
then
back.
roll it back up.
Right.
Sort of jelly roll style.
It's called butterflying. You can ever heard that? Butterfly a piece of meat. when you take your knife and you cut it almost in half, open it up like a book, and now it's butterfly because it looks like a butterfly. Huh. See, I learned something.
Culinary skills training. Goodwill, you may know, does an entire suite of vocational training programs. So we not only have culinary, we have warehouse and logistics, we have office skills, we have a big array. We do some GED training. So we're just one small part of Goodwill. A lot of different ways to help people.
No, I think it's very cool. I mean, the diversification is awesome. And taking a product that is a donated product and turn it into something that can actually bring back to the society is fantastic. Great idea.
By teaching the very basics that everybody needs to know to work in a kitchen. So we teach food safety and sanitation. We teach measuring, portioning, basic knife skills, recipe following, before people really even move into
The stove.
the stove.
Right. No, that's the same as a normal kitchen. Butterflying that big pork loin. Are you nervous? No, but this is burning. Yeah, this is a kitchen, Shannon. What the heck do you expect? No, just kidding. What do you expect? Cold? You're right. Normally you would never be doing this next to the stove, right? That's true. How's the rice doing? As in, is it coming along? It's coming along.
Still
Are you halfway there, or 1/4, or almost down? Halfway. Wow. You see, you need to have lots of love to give to a risotto. It sounds like an easy recipe you take out of a box and put in water, but it's not. A good risotto takes little patience and passion. Now, I don't care what anybody said, that's a big piece of meat. I would take that puppy, put some rub, and throw this on the barbecue in a minute.
So Maddie's just about got it butterflied, and I think what we're going to do is, it's still not flat.
Right.
So we're gonna pound it out just a little bit, just to level it out. Not so much to tenderize it, because pork loin's already pretty tender. To make it a consistent thickness, so that when we roll it up, we don't have thin and thick parts.
Right. Is that your favorite time, Shannon, when you just hit the crap out of this piece of meat?
Take out all your frustrations.
All your frustration is coming out. I want this piece of meat thin. And the purpose of doing this is to try to have the meat the same thickness all the way around, right?
Correct. You want
So
it to
when
be
it cooks evenly.
a consistent thickness.
Right. This is a fun thing to give to your guests coming over when you're doing a pork loin. You go, here, why don't you just hit the tenderloin here?
And now through the magic of television,
And no.
so we don't have to stand here and do an entire construction project.
Let me guess. You have another one in the
We
fridge.
just happen to have one.
Nice.
Already pounded. So here we have a loin that's already been butterflied and pounded. And what we're going to do is Maddie's going to then put the stuffing on it.
Yeah, definitely been pounded. That one is perfectly flat. So
Now we're going to put the stuffing on the inside, and you want to leave a little margin, a little apron with no stuffing, so that when you roll it up, there's meat-to-meat contact, so you don't have the stuffing trying to
Right.
squeeze its way out. How's the risotto? Still stirring? Still stirring. Okay.
that's a nice amount of stuffing. I like that. How many of you are gonna go eat at the neighborhood bistro now that you see how they make their pork loin? Because you're not gonna make this stuff at home. Yeah, $4.95. I'm there tomorrow.
Monday through Thursday, 11 to 1.
Monday through not tomorrow, I guess.
I know. Not Friday, because Friday we're here.
Yeah, that's right. Beautiful. How's the risotto going? Coming along?
Still stirring.
Yeah, exactly.
So now what we're gonna do? Oh, okay. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna roll up the pork loin sort of jelly roll style, and then we're gonna truss it with a little bit of butcher's twine, hold it together in the oven.
The secret of this is don't be afraid, just roll it. All right. How many of you have butcher twine at home? How many of you use twine to cook with from time to time? Couple people, huh? It's always good to have twine at home. You never know what's going to happen tomorrow. You might need it.
So I got a nice long piece of twine here, and what I'm going to do is just divide it into quarters. I take about 2 arm spans for a pork loin, so I don't know. Oh no!
Hey, a pinch of this, a pinch of that. What's a pinch?
12 feet, precisely.
So are you doing individual roll or are you doing the whole thing in one piece?
We're gonna do the whole thing in one piece.
Ah.
Divide it so you have 3 quarters, 1 quarter on the other side, and then what we're gonna do is put this underneath, throw the long side that way, loop this around a couple times, 2 times, and then cinch it up, and you want to be careful not to cinch it too tight. Because as this pork loin cooks, it's going to swell a little bit, and if you tighten it down too much, you're going to end up with a title looks like that, called dimple. Take your hand, make a loop, run the loop up underneath. Do this again. Make a loop, run the loop up underneath. I'm going to put about 4 or 5 ties on this.
Yeah, you don't need too many, right?
Just enough to hold it together.
Right.
So it's like this. If you hold onto the ends, you can get a little sturdy. Flip it over, and then on the back side, make sure you fold the end in. Run your string around each of your loops so that it's tied on the top and the bottom.
How many of you are going to actually try this at home? Hey, good for you. Now remember, you don't have to buy the entire pork loin, you can buy half of it.
Right. Now I've run it back to the other side, flip it back over to the front. Pull your string up around this end to sort of hold that end in. Loop around this first loop. Tie it off. Go through 2 times.
The 2 times through the loop is called a butcher knot. The reason you do 2 turns inside and you tie it up is so when you tie it up, the string doesn't come back.
It won't slip. Put that off, and now it's ready for the oven. Have your pan.
So you're ready to go in the oven just like that? Little fat, little anything?
So what we're going to do, we're going to use some of the oil from the tomatoes on the outside, and that's going to, well, it's going to give it a little bit of flavor, and it's also going to help promote browning. There we go. Then we're going to put a little bit of salt and pepper on it.
Doesn't that look good? What's the oven at? What are you putting it at? 350, 375?
375.
Yep.
You're going to cook it for, well, in a convection oven, we cook it for about an hour and 15 minutes. In a conventional oven, a home oven, hour and a half. The important thing is you want to take it to since it's a stuffed meat, an internal temperature of 165 degrees. So you're going to take it out of the oven at about 160 degrees and let it carry over that last 5 degrees.
How many of you do not have a thermometer at home, a meat thermometer? Because that's a tool you cannot live without. I'm a chef and I can't live without it either. I keep telling my cooks, they always want to play the game of like, oh, I'm just going to judge if it's cooked. And I always go, what do you guys, Superman eyes? You can see in the middle of the meat now? Because, you know, when you do meat, especially when you do stuffing, the texture of the meat changes drastically. So you can't use your finger the same way you would on just a plain roast. So you have to use your meat thermometer, go inside, so you know exactly what's going on inside. You save a lot of time, lots of aggravation, no guessing game. It tells you exactly what's going on. All right, chef, in the oven.
All right, into the oven.
All right. And with the magic of television, just put it in the back. Put it in the back on the table.
Oh, look at that.
Wow, look, put it in the back.
Amazing.
And this is what it looks like when it's ready, right?
Indeed.
160 inside, and let it rest for about 20 minutes. You guys know about this, right? Never take a roast out of the oven and cut it. Why? Because you get that pool of water, which is all the good stuff, the blood and everything comes out. And now you have a meat that's actually tougher than when you started. You want to let it rest, so all that good juice, which is stuck in the middle, goes back where it belongs, to all the muscle and the fibers.
All the juices expand when it cooks. They push toward the outside.
Right.
You need to let them redistribute.
All right, so we're ready to go with that. And how are we doing on the risotto? Are we almost down?
Almost there.
So could you do this with a machine? Just kidding. I know some people are like, she's been stirring for like 20 minutes. Is it done?
That's why it's a great job when you have an apprentice.
You have an apprentice at home. Jeff, in consideration of everything on the roast, on the
Shannon,
risotto,
you've put some, put a little bit of Parmesan cheese into the risotto and some fresh herbs. A little bit of salt and pepper.
Salt, pepper, grated cheese. What kind of cheese are you using? Parmesan.
A little bit of grated Parmesan.
Excellent. So now you've got your risotto ready.
And so let's go ahead and cut the pork loin. So we're gonna snip off the ties. And if you can see that when we tied it, they're tight enough to hold the meat together, but not tight enough to make it dimpled.
So if you cut the perfect part of the string, you should be able to just pull, right? No, you don't want to rip off the skin. That's the most beautiful skin ever. Crisp and gorgeous. So obviously, this is what we call a little bit of an intense project when you're gonna have friends coming over. It's nice to get up early in the morning and do this, but I would recommend making your stuffing the day before, right?
Absolutely.
You could make your stuffing the day before. That would get you ahead of the game from being able to do the rolling of that. I would also ask your butcher, your butcher is your friend. Make sure your friend is your butcher. Ask him to butterfly the leg, the loin itself. So you don't have to struggle with that either, unless you're good at the slice of that.
So now we're going to cut a couple slices off of there. What we're going to do is put some plates here.
Look at that.
Nice. Have some risotto for us? Awesome.
That looks scrumptious.
Mm-hmm.
Nice job, Shannon. Wow, bravo.
Good job, Maddie.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Oh, and you're Maddie? Hi, Shannon. Hi, Maddie. Confused here. So a little risotto on the plate, couple of slices around the rice, and
Put down a little bit of
Broccolini.
broccolini.
Steamed broccolini on top. Beautiful. Look at that. You're gonna look like Martha Stewart if you make that for your friend. Awesome job. A little drizzle of olive oil on top of that too? Oh, you have a sauce?
We have a little bit of pork demi-glaze.
Ah. We have a little bit of pork left. You know, the cool thing about this is this does not go bad. You put that in your refrigerator as soon as it cools off, put it in the fridge, cut it in smaller chunks so you can use it over the next few days and only take what you need every day, right? You don't warm up the piece. So you can take this and you can make sandwiches, you can use it on anything, pasta, you can use it by itself, just warm it up, put a little piece of foil on top so it doesn't dry out, put it in the oven at 275 for about 15 minutes, your pork's gonna be perfectly warmed up and you can eat it again. Oh,
For you, chef.
here we go, finished product, you guys. What's the sauce on top, chef?
A little bit of pork demi-glaze.
Mmm.
So demi-glaze is a reduced.
Round of applause, you guys. The Neighborhood Bistro. Chef Jeff Pratt. Maddie and Shannon, a rock star of the day. You guys are making more plates. I like it. That means I'm gonna have at least one. What are the herbs in the risotto?
Fresh oregano, fresh thyme, fresh basil, mint.
So
What
we
are the
use-
leaves on the plate?
We have some Cuban oregano, and then two different kinds of basil from Maddie's garden.
Purple basil and regular basil.
and regular basil.
Nice. You guys did a fantastic job. I'm coming to your place Monday.
Excellent.
$4.95. Are you kidding?
Yeah, absolutely.
Big round of applause for
Stop-
Goodwill and
stop
for
by.
the Neighborhood Bistro. Neighborhood Bistro.
Neighborhood Bistro.
Yeah, Neighborhood Bistro. Big round of applause for those guys. They do a great job. They deserve for you guys to go and eat there because if you go eat there, you support the cause. Remember? That's how it works. So make sure you do a little visit to the Neighborhood Bistro. Go check out their lunch Monday through Thursday.
Yes. 11 to 1.
And 1 to what?
11 to 1.
11 to 1. Okay, good. Thanks so much for being on stage with us. Really